This was Hollywood 70 years ago, when the movies were young and silent. The talking picture hadn't yet been invented, and the films of the day were often fast, furious and funny. At that time, they were making one comedy film every few days. The studio activity like this was commonplace. Everything depended on action. You may not have heard of this week's silent screen comedian, but he kept audiences laughing with comedies that were full of thrills and spills. His name was Larry Semon. Larry actually started out in the movies as a director, but he didn't stay behind the camera for long. He signed with a big film studio, the Vitagraph Company. Here's a lovely piece from one of his early films called The Stagehand. We join the action as Larry spots the villain, played by Oliver Hardy, making off with the company's takings. Larry wouldn't let anything stop him getting his man. So he gives chase. And when I say chase, I mean just that. These kind of chases look fun, but they in fact involve a great deal of hard work. It's easy to see why Larry Semon used stuntmen for the very dangerous shots. Larry's doubles, the stuntmen, could film entire chase sequences while Larry was away. The close-ups could be done later. Larry's films took little time to develop a plot. To him, the chase or chasers were more important. The train heads towards a freight wagon full of dynamite. Larry may be able to beat off the villains, but surely the end is nigh. This must be Larry's lucky day. He and the company's money are safe. Incredible. When the film was released in 1921, it was an instant success. The thrills were more spectacular than most. Let's look again at that amazing shot where the train just misses him. How did they do it?
Well,
As we saw in the Keystone Cops programme, they slowed down the camera so that when shown in the cinema, everything is speeded up. Now for that spectacular gag. As I said earlier, Larry used stuntmen to double for him in the dangerous shots. Here the actor is too far away for us to see who it is. The train goes by just missing what looks like Larry. When the dust clears, the film cuts to a close-up taken much later. This, of course, is the real Larry. See? You'd never know they had used any trickery, would you? Most of Larry's films use this technique, and today they still do exactly the same. Now, our next film was made in 1922, and it cost so much money that Larry was fired after it was finished. It's called The Sawmill. The film was made entirely on location, and it took 3 months to make. The sawmill owner arrives with his daughter to see how the work is progressing. He will soon wish he'd stayed at home. The foreman, played by Oliver Hardy, finds Larry having his lunch when he should be working and is not happy about it. As usual, the chase is the most important part of the film. The stunt shots looked dangerous, and they were dangerous. For that reason, Larry hired no less than 4 stunt doubles to do the really dangerous bits for him. When everyone is after Larry, the gags come thick and fast. Larry thought up many of the gags himself. He had a scriptwriter and director to help him develop simple ideas into films the audiences loved. Having escaped death by inches when the tree was felled, Larry thinks he's now out of danger. I said thinks, didn't I? In a spectacular stunt, the foreman is finally beaten, and the other workers can't do a lot for the boss now. Larry has won the round. I've never seen a flying wheelbarrow before. No wonder that film took 3 months to make. The gags were cleverly written into the plot. Let's look again at how that wheelbarrow took to the air. Larry is chased by the foreman. A stunt double stands in for Larry in the next shot. The film then cuts to the stuntman landing on a plank. At the other end of the plank is a balsa wood wheelbarrow that flies through the air and lands on the unlucky boss. At normal speed, as with most special stunts, you're not aware of any trickery. That's the way it should be. The Sawmill was Larry's last film for Vitagraph. They could no longer afford his expensive productions. So he formed his own company and made his own films. But they were nearly an hour long, and that was too long for audiences to watch wild gags and chases. He then returned to making short films, and his last one was in 1927. It was called The Cloudhopper. Larry and friend wonder what the noise is coming from the dining room. They discover that villains are trying to make a daring robbery. This is not a new story, and I'm sure you'll know by now that it's really only the excuse for yet another of Larry Semon's frantic chases. After that man, shouts Larry's girlfriend. Larry often worked the same old gags over and over again, but they never failed to thrill an audience. Incidentally, all the fast action is perfectly real. There was no trick photography, but doubtless Larry's 4 look-alike stuntmen were kept very, very busy. It looks as if Larry is out of the chase. Larry's lucky having a girlfriend who holds a current pilot's license. Now comes one of the most spectacular stunts ever seen in the movies. From motorbike to aeroplane in one jump. All done at the speed of about 80 miles an hour. this thriller sequence is undeveloped Los Angeles. Remember, Hollywood still had a long way to go. Stunts like this have never been beaten, even today. There aren't many films that can outdo the stunts we've just seen. That leap from motorbike to aeroplane was done for real. A year after that film was made, Larry Semon died at the early age of 39. But he was a true clown in the very best tradition of Hollywood's silent movies. See you next week.